Meeting, our special public safety meeting for August 29th, 2019, and roll call.
Alderperson Alms is excused. Alderperson Hall? Here. Alderperson Morset?
Here. Number 2 is discussion possible action on Lakeview EMS transition, and that is what this meeting is entirely about. There's no other agenda or items on the agenda, so that's what we'll focus on. So I guess we'll go immediately to Josh and John on where we're at with the transition, and the big question is, are we ready?
Yeah. Want me to go? Go ahead. All right. To answer the question, we actually are ready. We've got all our people hired. I think the last time I was here, I reported that we had made 9 job offers, but we had 1 back out. We have filled that 9th position. That ninth position we don't need for this operation, but we did fill it. That person starts on September 9th. The other 8, a number of them are actually working scheduled shifts now. We have added the 5th ambulance into our operation daily. It's not complete 24/7, but it's pretty close. What would you say, Bridget?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I would say 90% full.
Yeah. So the nice part of that is that truck's in our operation. They're getting used to having that 5th truck in our operation. Dispatch is getting used to it, so it gives us a good buffer before the 9th. So we will be absolutely 100% ready on the 9th.
Where are we at with dispatching, the big question around St. Croix County dispatch, and is that coming together? Has there been some updates?
There's been no, we had, I don't want to say we had issues, but there was definite delays that we had encountered on January 1st with that new operation, and I'm not blaming anyone for it. It was a different process, but I don't see those delays anymore. So, I am responding. That is usually the first thing that gets triggered from the county, and we're noticing now when that gets triggered, our dispatch is toning our crew is pretty close to the same time. There's some days it's a couple minute difference, but when you compare it to the pager, so when they're setting off the pagers, it's pretty close to us already having the call or the calls going in right now. So,
so when you say delays, where did that happen? What was that attributed to? Technology?
I don't think it was the technology. I think it's the process, the county's process.
Okay.
Their process is to make sure they're paging out all of the services over here first,
Sure.
meaning law enforcement, fire, EMS, first responders, and then they're making the call to our dispatch. And that's the reason we went with I am responding, and we went with the pagers, so that we can get a jump on that. Again, the reason that we want them to continue to call our dispatch, that's the process that gets the next truck over here to cover. And the longer that piece delays, the longer it is to move another truck over here.
Sure.
So all of our crews have I am responding, so they can start moving before our dispatch tells them to move.
Okay.
So I think it's going really well.
Can you update me, or the committee as well, on where we're at with our partners, and are they covered? Are we settled in?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had meetings with all of the partners that you guys, the community partners that you guys provided service to and currently provide service to. Village and North Hudson contract is completed. I believe it's signed and ready to go. Town of Troy is completed. They voted on it, accepted it. I don't know where the actual contract is, if it's signed, if we have it, where it is. And then Warren Township just as I was walking in here, I got the email. Our attorney sent their attorney the final copy of that for signatures. So Bridget and I went to their meeting last week, I believe it was. They voted to accept it. Same boundaries that St. Croix EMS covered. So they're all on board and ready for the 9th.
Okay. Joyce, did you have some questions?
I think you covered things.
We can come back to anybody have any other questions.
Yeah, I got a question if you don't mind. You said you added a 5th truck?
Yeah.
Did you previously have 4 in your entire operation?
Correct.
And now you're having 5?
Yeah.
Is there a plan to add a 6th, or are you gonna see how it goes with 5, or what's the, just because I don't know.
My hope is to add a 6th one, and it would only be during a certain time of the day, but none of that has been approved yet.
But the question going to that is, are you talking the actual apparatus, or because we have ours, which you could acquire and then staff it, or is it a monetary issue?
No, it's a budget issue, adding the FTEs. So we'd have to add FTEs, and again, our focus was to get up and running by the 9th. So I had put in a request to do that actually before you guys had the contract agreed on the Lakeview contract. And, obviously it was, let's wait and see what happens. And then when it went through, I submitted that request, and they said, let's just focus on what you need for Hudson and get that out of the way, which makes sense, because we got to onboard those people to take on this service area. The only reason we're adding that extra truck is we still have a peak time of the day where we get hit heavy. So, and it's seasonal. Right now, we're kind of, we peaked in July. We did 801 calls in July, just with our normal daily coverage of 3 ambulances. 4, I mean. And I think we had 7 mutual aid calls that we gave away for 800 calls. So, that kind of tells you we're managing our current operation. But on the other side of that, we don't want to burn our crews out. So if we could add another truck during that peak time, it would really help alleviate some of the pressure on
John,
the crews.
backing up a little bit, now that you've said you've got these contracts in hands for the service area, how is that going to affect the concerns that have been brought up in the past about assuring that we've got the 2 trucks here in town? Is that going to affect response, or is that going to affect where your ambulances are based in Hudson? Explain that a little bit for the general public and us.
Yeah, it shouldn't affect it. I mean, going through this process, I look at our volumes every day. I'm monitoring the St. Croix County channel, so I hear when St. Croix EMS is busy. I mean, there's definitely times that we both peak at the same time, but that's nothing new, and that's the way EMS has been forever. I think we're going to be very well covered with the 5 ambulances that we're going to have on. I think in the month of July, there was only one time that the ambulance here in Hudson wasn't at the hospital, and that it responded from 94 and 95. So, that's a pretty good example of we have the appropriate coverage.
Okay.
So,
And remind us again, you have how many employees, paramedics, EMTs?
what did we say?
43.
43 right now.
Both paramedics and EMTs?
Just paramedics.
You have 43 paramedics. And that's all you have?
That's all we have.
Okay. What's the status of your operational plan now?
So we can't submit the operational plan until we have signed contracts. So when we have signed contracts in hand, we can submit it. I don't know if you're aware, but the state of Wisconsin in the EMS section has lost all their people. I was informed today that Helen Paulin, who's been there forever, someone told me today they called down there yesterday and they said she's no longer with them.
Say that again, the Department of EMS for the state of Wisconsin's?
They only have one person, and that was Helen, that's managing the licensing. They might have some clerical people, but Ray Lemke, he left a month ago, 2 months ago. He did all of the operational plans, all of the license upgrades. So he left. When he left, they put out a memo saying they're not going to review anything that comes in. So that nothing will be approved. They don't have the staff to approve it. So I could submit the application tomorrow. No one's going to approve it. So we'll be operating without an approved operation plan from the state. Anyone will in the state. Until they fill those positions.
Is that a cause for concern?
No, well, not on,
Maybe, I don't know.
not on my end. That was a meeting that we had with the medical directors, so, you know, it's, how did they say that, Bridget? Whatever plans, whatever you want to do, you submit your application. I don't know how they said that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Make sure you keep us posted on that one.
So you'll
Yeah.
submit the operational plan as soon as you've got the contracts
Yeah,
signed?
and the only thing that needs to be, we don't have to submit a full operational plan.
No, it's an update.
We just have to put addendums in it. The only thing that's going to be in there is a service area. So there is no, I mean, I don't know how they would deny it because we added, you know, more towns and villages to the operation. We have the coverage for it, so there is no matrix that says, if you're going to take on this much, you need to have this many ambulances.
And then, how many ambulances does Lakeview own?
Right now,
Yeah, that are working.
we have 8. 8?
You
We have 8, but we have one that we're going to get rid of right now.
Okay, so you have 7 that actually run and are
Correct.
able
There's-
to be deployed.
There's 8 of them that are licensed. 8 of them that are licensed, but the one hasn't moved a wheel in a year. So we did talk to our ambulance broker to see if he wanted to buy that from us.
Are you going to replace that one then?
I would like to.
Okay, keep us posted on that too.
I would like to purchase potentially 2 of your ambulances if we can. So,
Anything else, Joyce? Josh, you ready? Anything to update or?
Nothing to update. Me and John and Brandon met Tuesday morning.
Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday morning, went around our service area just for troubled spots and stuff like that, just to get them updated.
You gotta get on the mic.
Just to get them updated as far as just some troubled spots in our service area. And we touched base with the athletic director up at the high school for the football games, so they had a contact. And that's about it.
Was that scheduled then? You've got that scheduled?
Yeah, there's one game that's this Saturday, and then the next game is after the 9th, when we'll be in there, so.
No, you're required for football and whatever, what else? Basketball?
It's just
You-
football games.
Yeah,
Just, okay.
It's just football, but Hudson High School is a little bit different because they employ a doctor and an athletic trainer. So the ambulance isn't required to be there for the whole game. They're allowed to leave, and so they bypass the WIA rules that way,
Okay.
since they have a doctor and an athletic trainer on the sidelines for the games, so.
our goal is to have an ambulance physically at the event when that's going on. And it's only because if something happens, I don't want it coming from our base or, I don't want 4,000 people sitting there waiting for an ambulance to get there.
Right, okay.
So. And we do that with with Somerset and Stillwater.
Okay.
Usually when we do that, it's an extra ambulance into our operation, so we don't affect the 911
Sure.
operation.
Any other information that we would need, or that we need to know about?
Well, I would personally like to recognize Josh for his professionalism throughout this process, the help that he's given us, the communication that we've had has been outstanding. So
Thank you, Josh.
I think, yeah, he deserves a thank you for all that. Anything, Bridget, that you can think of?
Any of the other chiefs have questions? Are you? You good?
Yeah, Jeff, are you concerned at all about first responders and having the police going out on,
No, I mean, that's part of what we do. That's part of what we've always done, and
okay, so you aren't concerned that you're going to be tying up too many people with that? If it becomes a problem, then I'm sure you'll let us know.
yeah.
All right, well, if there's no other discussion or questions, we look forward to the relationship. We thank you for the hard work. Josh, it goes without saying, the hard work and dedication that you put in, and the rest of your team. And we truly thank you on behalf of the city. So with that, I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you very much, folks.